Ladies and gents, this is one of a series of talks on India, a country we all love. Let us all be proud participants in India's onward march till it achieves its well-deserved place in the community of nations. The world is watching us, and hence we cannot afford to fail. We have miles to go still and promises to keep. Today's talk is about the telecom revolution in India and how it has changed our lives for the better. Telecom today. We are living today in an age of instant communication, not only within our country but worldwide. Through our mobile devices, we can establish an immediate contact with our relatives and friends anywhere on earth. This surely is one way of empowering the common man. Indeed, the modern telecommunications network has bridged the gap between the rich and the poor, the urban and rural in a way that could not have been foreseen even 50 years back. Telecom in India. For the first 50 years, providing telecom network was solely the responsibility of the government. These were years of license Raj when government through its intrusive regulatory framework controlled a major part of our economy. But these policies had hurt our country so much that by 1990 we were at the verge of bankruptcy. We had then to borrow money from IMF to somehow stand back on our feet. Realizing the folly of this suicidal economic policy, liberalization was introduced in 1990s, which meant conceding more and more space to the private sector in order to maximize our productivity. Acting on the same lines, the NDA government under Atal Bihari had revised the National Telecom Policy in 1999 to make it more responsive to common needs. And in 2002, the policy was liberalized further. Thus, the way was cleared for some select private players to provide both basic and cellular services. In this way, mobile telephony began in 2002 in India with 2G, that is second generation cellular network. This had an excellent response, and hence from 2008 onwards, 3G was introduced in major cities like Delhi, Mumbai and others. Soon, a spectacular growth in consumers using cellular services was seen. Encouraged by the massive public response, 4G technology was introduced by Airtel first in Calcutta, and then gradually it spread all over India. The year was 2012. Now, India is still a developing country with a base of low per capita income. Currently, it is about rupees 1,50,000 annually, but it was much lower in the last 2 decades. However, India had the advantage of numbers. Buyers for telecom services were in millions. This allowed the private telecom providers to keep tariffs affordable and still be winners. From September 2016, Reliance Jio entered the telecom sector. It served as a catalyst for mobile tariffs fell further with its entry. It gained a massive subscriber base in the next few years because it's relatively cheaper rates and good services. The latest development in technology has been the introduction of 5G services from October 2022. As usual, it has been launched in a few major cities presently. Gradually, the 5G services will be extended to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. The size of the Indian telecom market. How phenomenally India's telecom sector has grown is clearly demonstrated by figures. By now, India has the second largest telecom network in the world. This is with respect to both fixed and mobile phone users. Government's liberal policies. Many factors have contributed to this growth. First is the government's liberal and far-sighted policies, which provide incentive to the private telecom providers. Secondly, government has increased FDI cap from earlier 74% to 100% in October 2021. This has ensured an exponential growth in FDI in the telecom sector. Thus, within just 2 years, between April 2020 and March 2022, FDI inflows in telecom sector amounted to US dollar 38.33 billion, whereas between 2002 to 14, FDI amounted to only US dollar 8.2 billion. Thirdly, government upgraded telecom services through the public auction of 5G spectrum. Completed in July 2022, it grossed an additional $18.77 billion to government. But the government wants more. The target is to attract FDI of $100 billion by the end of 2022-2023. This may seem unrealistic, especially in the present circumstances when the fear of recession looms worldwide. But unless one aims high and sets difficult targets, one does not go far. The fourth step has been to expand telecom sector through the government's Production Linked Incentive or PLI scheme. India is undertaking to provide incentives worth $1.6 billion or rupees 12,195 crores for boosting telecom and networking products. 5. Government is keen to expand the telecom infrastructure because without a more intensive penetration of broadband connectivity, expansion in telecom sector won't be possible. In the budget of 2021-22 itself, the government allocated rupees 14,200 crore for extending optical fiber network, especially for defense services. Government has also rolled out broadband in 2.2 lakh gram panchayats. Nor is the government stopping at that point. The target is to lay out 30 lakh kilometers of optic fiber by December 2022 and extend it to 50 lakh kilometers of optic fiber by December 2024. This will ensure practically countrywide connectivity, including such network in rural areas. Some of the other ambitious targets of government are as follows. 1. To ensure 100% broadband connectivity by December 2022. Second, to achieve broadband speeds of 25 megabytes per second also by the end of the current year. The further aim is to attain broadband speeds of 50 megabytes per second by December 2024. A fair and proactive regulatory framework has moreover ensured availability of telecom services at affordable prices. A strong consumer demand has also led to the rapid growth of the telecom sector. Wide consumer base. Indeed, as mentioned earlier, India has the second largest telecom network in the world. It has also the second largest internet user base in the world. Broadband subscription base rose to 787.77 million consumers by April 2022. It is expected to reach 900 million by 2025, and all this has happened in barely 20 years starting from 2002. In its spectacular growth, the telecom sector has left behind such other rapidly growing infrastructure sectors like power, highways, and railways. The rapid expansion of mobile towers has further accelerated the growth of telecom sector. In 2014, there were 4 lakh mobile towers. These have grown to 6,60,000 by 2021 end. The number of mobile subscribers has also been growing at lightning pace. Our country added 500 million subscribers in the last 10 years. By now, India has already become the second largest smartphone market globally. The number of smartphone subscribers might grow to 920 million by 2025. This will include 88 million 5G subscribers by 2025. growing economy with more jobs. The telecom industry has not only added substantially to India's GDP, it has also created huge opportunities for new jobs. The telecom sector employs 4 million people currently. This is expected to grow to 6 million by 2026. Indeed, with the recent rollout of 5G, the telecom companies are on a hiring spree because more advanced skills will be needed to run 5G services. It is also to be noted the government has already started working on 6G technology, as the Railways and Telecom Minister Ashwini Vaishnav stated recently. Indeed, he is hopeful that we will bring 6G broadband services to India by 2029-30, even before they become operational in developed nations like Japan and USA. To conclude, among other sectors, telecom is helping India to grow from a third world country to a potential global power. Friends, if you like this talk, kindly subscribe. Thank you.